Today, the South African news media industry commemorates the 47th anniversary of Black Wednesday, also recognized as National Press Freedom Day. This day, in 1977, marks a very dark chapter in the country's history when the apartheid government banned independent media in a sweeping attempt to suppress coverage of its brutal regime. Black Wednesday is a powerful reminder of the progress the South African media has made since then, and it offers a chance for reflection on the ongoing struggle for press freedom. For more on this, we're joined by Nomshado Lubisi-Nkosinkulu, a media and tech comm strategist and former spokesperson of Media Monitoring Africa, as well as Themba Sipokotele, who is a journalism lecturer at the Sol Plaatje Media Leadership Institute at Rhodes University. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I want to start with you, Nomshado, and perhaps ask this question. It may have been in 1977 the apartheid regime that sought to suppress media freedom, but today it's a different challenge that seeks to suppress media freedom, and that is a concerted, ongoing campaign of disinformation. How much more different is today's challenge to that of Black Wednesday in 1977?
I think, first of all, thank you for having me. Highlighting the mere fact that, media freedom is really enshrined in our constitution. And the mere fact that digital media has completely changed and transformed the media landscape in the way people have consumed news, in the way people share news and even create news. And in that space, we're seeing a huge rise of mis and disinformation, which is literally digital content that is created or information that is created to cause harm. And the mere fact that as technology, becomes more sophisticated and as it evolves, so does that type of content. And this is where now a citizen is left with the question, what is credible and what is not? And it really highlights the importance of, the role that media plays in today's media landscape.
Yeah. Themba, I want to bring you into the conversation here. Themba Sipokotele is with the Rhodes University Media Leadership Institute. Themba, it is things such as media literacy that is also of grave concern today, especially in an age of misinformation and disinformation, as Nomshado had just described to us there. Again, to ask the question, when there was a concerted effort to push back against the apartheid regime's attempt at suppressing media freedom, today we have to ask the question, do we have sufficient media literacy amongst the populace to be able to access media and news media in a meaningful way? What's your view on that?
My apologies, yeah.
There we go.
I'm saying we really have to start from the beginning that media freedom, it is not for the media only. It is for the entire society, the entire populace. Therefore, then, journalists should continue to stand on the barricades to ensure that any encroachment into the freedom of the media gets nipped in the bud. Because there are, kind of censorship on social media, censorship where journalists are being threatened sharply or with lectures, that are, we masquerading as lectures. So the important thing is that media literacy is something that we should push as a society to be something that is taught at school from grade R. It is something that someone shouldn't learn media about the purpose of the media because one is a journalist or one is interested in the media space. So it is important to ensure that we start from the beginning to make the populace understand that the media that we've achieved so far, the last 80 years, didn't come cheap. It came with true sweat and blood. If I take you back to 2010, if you remember vividly, there was a proposed media appeals tribunal by the African National Congress that had to fall flat because the media on its own fought viciously against that draconian proposal. Therefore, then, it is important that kids start learning about the importance of the media and not treat media as an enemy, because media is here to serve society.
Yeah. Nomshado, one of the big tragedies of post-democratic South African media, particularly news media, is the loss of journalism and journalists, especially when we look at specialist journalism. About 15 years ago, we had over 8,000 fully employed, permanently employed journalists in South Africa. Today, that number is a fraction thereof. We really have lost an entire industry. That, too, threatens not just media freedom, but media survival and media sustainability. What can we do at this point to be able to make sure that we don't have an inadvertent Black Wednesday happen in post-democratic South Africa?
Thank you for highlighting those statistics, because the mere fact that we're sitting with just over 5,000 journalists, for me, echoes the need to protect journalism. the same way we're looking at media freedom is the same way that we should understand the role that journalism plays. And most of the times when we speak about media sustainability, there's so many elements around that as well. And never mind the funding models or the business models around sustaining media. But there are other elements as well. And I think those elements are all around contributing towards ensuring that we're protecting journalism. So understanding that when we are seeing issues or concerning issues around the safety of journalists, which has now become not only an offline issue, but an online issue as well, which is, promoting self-censorship, is promoting, a discrediting of sorts when it comes to, journalism in general, because it's literally targeted campaigns. So it's highlighting, the need to start looking at how do we ensure that the next generation of journalists are coming into a space which is now open for them to operate in without finding the need to look in other directions or feeling safe to actually even, hold power to account.
Yeah. Themba, do you notice a decline of enthusiasm in your lecture theatres when you look at prospective journalists and journalism students?
To be honest, there is, because some of the students will tell you that they are not really interested in mainstream media. So there's this phenomenon of celebrity journalism. People want to be on TikTok. People are not really understanding the importance of journalism, that journalism, Oliver, is a service to society. It is not just a career that one has to work. It's a service to society. It's a very serious sacrifice that journalists should do every day to ensure that there's a free flow of information, they unearth corruption wherever it is, for the betterment of the society. The biggest challenge, I can tell you now without fear of favor, are two-pronged from my point of view. Is this what I call celebrity journalism? Because people want to go to journalism thinking that it's a glamorous job where they, they'll get all the perks. Good and well, it doesn't pay much, but it pays. Two, it is journalists who are already within the system, who we fight for at the Press Council, because I'm the member of the Press Council where I represent the public there, whereby you find that we have reckless and rogue journalists who are in the pockets of the high and the mighty. Those are the ones that who are compromising this very noble profession. Therefore, that it's important to ensure that journalists stick to the basic ethics of journalism 24/7. Those are the things that they shouldn't compromise. I worked in the media for almost 15 years. I've never compromised media ethics. I'm sitting in the Press Council today. I'm advocating for ethical journalism, even if someone can accuse you of misinformation or whatever. At the end of the day, if your source fed you wrong information or false information, to go verify it, investigate at the source, ensure that your information is credible, because the survival of the media, especially print media, is about ethical journalism.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time and your insights this evening. Really do appreciate it. That is Themba Siputukele, who's a journalism lecturer at the Sol Plaatje Media Leadership Institute at Rhodes University, as well as Nomshado Lubisi-Nkosinkulu, the former spokesperson to Media Monitoring Africa.